Demos. Who has demos? Vacation, no demo, no GraphQL demo. Try Orchard project demo. New update? Nope. Okay, so we have Orchard one. Let's see. We merged some things from Marco. Modify CreateRouteValues when no blog ID is specified to avoid creation of orphaned posts. Avoid creation of orphaned posts. I think there was a button where you could click and you could create an item from a list or from a blog actually without its blog assigned. Maybe one of a custom route. Create without blog. Maybe there was an issue with that. Then, so we merged it. The issue made sense. Fix misaligned checkboxes on a workflow admin page. A CSS issue, well, HTML issue in this case, removing this class. Otherwise, the checkbox was half hidden from the screen, and that's it on Orchard 1. Orchard core. I don't think much. I haven't merged many things this week. So what do we have? Updating yessql because Dean and someone else have found an issue with the way a select top, meaning a limit in the standard SQL we're using in SQL Server, was not working correctly if you pass the parameter as the limit value. So just as an example, you can do select star from foo, and you can do limit, and then you can pass variables in the standard SQL language we are using, and that as a parameter will be converted to select top limit in SQL Server. Okay, from foo. And that doesn't work in SQL Server. When you use a variable like this, it wants parentheses, and this was wrong, so that didn't fix it in yessql. Now every time we render it in yessql, even with numbers, it's in parentheses, so this way it will always work. So it was fixed in yessql, and then I merged the new version of yessql, which was released in Orchard core, and it contains, oh, and I have also test. You see here the test that we are looking at. Now it tests that it's generating that thing. And there were other updates in yessql. Let me check just to be sure because we have time. MySQL foreign key issue. When you delete a foreign key, the syntax was incorrect in MySQL. Case in the initialize collection async method from ID lowercase to Pascal case. This is the fix I just talked about. The reverse lookup to type service. I don't remember why. And this one also, SQL query debugging. Yeah, there is the new log for SQL now. Very interesting. You might want to document that even in Orchard core because it has been implemented. Wage 206 with a Microsoft employee. Security. So he added SQL logging to yessql. And there are two things. There is the iLogger support, and there is also there are two things, or two levels of traces. Yeah, at least there is a way to export all the SQL queries that are executed. Super useful. And also implemented signed packages. So now we can use the yessql DLLs are signed. All these changes now are in Orchard Core. Ability to extend and clear the contained content types. So if you have a migration and you want to update the contained content types of container part, then you can do that. Before you could just, well, if you added a type, it will remove the previous type. So now you can, whenever you do contained content types, it will merge with the existing one, and you can also clear everything on the metadata of the content types for the migrations. Remove JSON specifier from GraphQL MD code blocks from my previous manager. So the idea is that I use the JSON syntax highlighting for these GraphQL queries, which is the closest to a GraphQL query, but it's wrong. So it could show some wrong color. So now it's just doing nothing, because a GraphQL query is not a JSON payload. The result of a GraphQL query is JSON, not the query itself. Save hint text for link text. Yeah, it was not saved because the property was wrong, or at least that's what Antoine found. There is a branch called extract PO_doc, how to generate PO files, and I think I've seen a PR. I should have merged. How to create PO files from modules with the tools. Yes, PO extractor Orchard Core. Awesome. I would have named it the opposite way, but oh, they can't use Orchard Core. I think it's reserved. Yep. So then Jean-Thierry has been working hard on his own PR/branches, updating all the async calls, doing some fix on caching, I think, the site service, which is not thread safe, so he's doing some changes on this part. Also some changes on the core 3.0 branch. Why commit? We'll see later. We found a bug well, there was a fix in ASP.NET Core that made Orchard Core not work anymore with the home page, but it was because of how we were handling the endpoint routing. So now it's fixed. Yep, and extract, that's it. So that's it on Orchard Core. Questions? Topic earlier, I will talk about it. So topics, I added some notes not to forget. There will be the .NET Conf next month. So .NET conference online in 47 days. I am submitting talk about Orchard Core modularity and multi-tenancy, not the CMS part. I have more chances to get a talk if I just focus on one thing and something more global than a CMS. So we'll see about modularity and multi-tenancy. Send the talk. I did last year, it didn't get picked up, so maybe this year it will. We'll see. And then on this date of the .NET Conf, they launch .NET Core 3.0, okay, the RTM, which is the 23rd of September, And I am proposing, and usually people agree with that decisions, to ship an Orchard core RC on the same day we have, or the day after, but around that, once we have the build for .NET Core 3.0, to launch an RC that will be based on this version of .NET Core. So what we are missing for RC was that Jean-Philippe comes back from vacation, so he can finalize all the things for localization, because that's what required for the RC localization, but we have mostly everything we need. Content item localization, we have even a picker for the locals. What are we missing on the localization side, Jean-Philippe? Did I miss anything? Let me check the roadmap. We still have some bugs to fix, but we can focus on these ones. Roadmap. So what's required for RC? Content localization, right to left admin done, and localization packages. Okay, so that's the goal, to ship an RC. Yes, we might need field syncing for the localization. That's not critical, but that will be very well done. And so yeah, so everything is implemented, but that should not be hard. Antoine even made a repository for that. We have 2 ways to do that, but it should be easy, so let's do that. And the documentation how to use these packages. The rest is just bonus, and we already have some of these implemented. We have a PR for that. We have that implemented. The 2/3 of that are implemented. We have a PR for that, I think, and we have a PR for that. So that's all good. So we're almost ready. We can also focus on all the issues that are marked for RC and have a priority tag on it. That would be awesome. At some point, maybe I will just ask everyone to just work on that instead of doing anything else, if they want to do contribution instead of just working for their own needs. But yes, so I'm suggesting to target an RC for in 47 days risk candidate that will target .NET Core 3.0, and that will not be the final 1.0 version, so we get still some bandwidth to fix some things before the 1.0 version, but risk candidate. And that means that I will also have to merge Jean-Thierry's branch for 3.0 soon, so we can test all the things from 3.0. Is it a risk to update to .NET Core 3.0? Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I want to merge the 3.0 branch from Jean-Thierry to the dev branch of the dev branch. The risk is that it's not 2.2, it's 3.0, so it's less tested than 2.2, but 3.0 is stable now. It has shipped in the last version shipped was 3.0 previous 7, which shipped with a go live, meaning there won't be any breaking change, and it's stable to be used in production and supported by Microsoft, so bugs will be fixed if there are any. We also have Jean-Thierry working on the previews for almost 5 months, I would say now, so it's pretty well done. All the tests pass. I'm also tracking it on the benchmarks infrastructure at Microsoft. Let me show you. I think I've done that already, but let me refresh your memory. So if you go to custom, and here you select Orchard blog. So this is Orchard with a blog recipe, and it's sitting the home page. That is the blog home page, which also loads the blog posts. And you can see here it's tracking the perf. So if that shows a number, that means it works. And that means it didn't work because there were lots of errors instead of good responses. Okay, so errors because there was a breaking change. There was a fix in the .NET Core Preview 8 that showed that we were doing something wrong in Orchard Core to use endpoint routing, but it has been fixed in the blog in Orchard Core, and now it's back again and it's tracked. So we can see here we send the load to the website and we track everything: latency, allocations, concurrent locking contention, everything, GC collections, all the things is tracked. That's super useful for us to know if it's stable-ish or not. At least we have that. We have some continuous run on this infrastructure for Windows and for Linux. On the cloud, maybe also on the cloud, on Azure and on physical machines. So this is on Azure, and this is on physical machines. Okay, and it's faster on Linux. No, it's slower on Linux than Windows, and on physical, almost the same. Interesting. So that are these benchmarks public? Yes, the URL I will share it with you is https://benchmarks. You have access to all the benchmarks we measure for every ASP.NET scenario, and we can add as many endpoints as we want to track. Like we could also track the performance of a standard GraphQL query, for instance, on some things, or some admin page and so on, just to track different workloads to see if there are regressions and to see if that just works, but mostly to see if there are regressions either in .NET that will impact a standard application, or in Orchard Core that will impact the users directly. Let me paste it. Yes, it's a risk, but it's a risk to use 2.2 also. To switch to .NET Core 3, that's why I want to do it early, because I don't want, we need some time to find the issues and to fix them. And because nobody is using the 3.0 branch right now, the only way for people to use it is to push people to use it on the dev branch. Okay, you can still use the branch before the switch to .NET Core 3, but now .NET Core 3 is available as a preview, so you can download the SDK. So if I go, so then what does it mean for the current sites that work? It's non-breaking in terms of database or recipes and everything. Okay, we are just upgrading the APIs from 2.2 to 3.0. So in theory, but we should try it, and it's better if we try it with your sites. If we take a site that has been built with the 2.2 version and we just upgrade to this branch using 3.0, then it should not change anything. The only thing it should change, hopefully, is that it's faster, because 3.0 is much faster than 2.2. So in theory, the sites are faster and use less memory, much less memory. Let me show you. It will take some time to load, but it will be there. So if I go on this one, you will see the difference. So I will leave it open because it will load lots of KPIs. So that's one thing. There might be bugs in 3.0 and compatibility between Orchard Core and 3.0, but this one should be found quickly by just testing the app. Jean-Thierry has been working with it for months, and everything is working. I've tried it myself, and the only thing I found is the bug since change in ASP.NET Preview 8. Does my get feeds keep a long history? I guess it would be nice to keep the last version before. I can try to pin the specific versions that are built for 2.2 so we don't lose them. At the same time, let me check the myget feed. Does anyone have the URL of the myget feed? myget.org. I will see on this. I just want to check how long ago is the current feed pointing to have an idea about the size of, well, the history that we keep right now. nightly, so this one. And if we look at the versions, so this is the latest build on dev branch, and that's it. That's all we keep. 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 versions. Okay, that's not much. That will mean that if we switch, we will lose it very quickly. Something we can do is do a release on NuGet.org and then merge to 3.0. That will be maybe safer then. Maybe. Okay, let's see. I will take that release on NuGet.org before merging 3.0 to keep version 2.2 available. Yes, just in case that will work. Or we could have deploy on a specific feed as a backup. So 3.0 should just work. It will be interesting that you actually try your site with this branch. Also, so I was saying, so if now what it will require when we merge, it means you will need a local .NET SDK with the 3.0 preview version. And right now the latest available one is downloaded old .NET Core 3.0 preview 7, okay, shipped the 23rd of July, and the preview 8 should not be, maybe I should next week or something like that. There will be also preview 9, and then there will be the 3.0 at the .NET Conf. That's what I know. That's the ID. So it will require that. On the production, when you deploy, you don't need to install anything when you deploy. Either on Azure websites or anything, you can just deploy as self-contained, so it will contain exactly the framework you have downloaded locally. Okay, so you don't have to install an SDK on the machine. You can deploy your app as self-contained, so it will contain everything, ASP.NET Runtime and the .NET Core runtime. Yep. So that's it. I think we are tagged the ASP.NET Runtime, so there should be a 3.0 image. Yes, also on Docker, all these things are available. There is a 3.0 image because I'm already using it. Somewhere, this one C# / ASP.NET Core. Example, you see all those Docker images, you see MCR, so this is the official source, and you see it's using Preview 7 in this case. So it's available. And that works. So the benchmark I showed you, they are working with 3.0 on Docker correctly. So that's kind of safe. And again, an existing site should just migrate without any change, because just API changes, there is nothing breaking. Even the serialization is based on our own structures. Database is the same. yessql. I should try it actually. I should maybe upgrade yessql to 3.0 first, just to be sure. But it works because it's already on the 3.0 branch from Gentry, so that works. Don't even need to upgrade that. It's targeting net standard to 0, so that's fine. No issues on that. The only concern right now is that OpenID storage for entity framework has not been migrated to 3.0, so we can't use that. So we might have to remove the entity framework providers for now from OpenID. I'm not sure if anyone uses them, but we have to see what's missing. Today it's still using 2.2 entity framework. That will work also. We might keep them if necessary. Gentry is working on that already. I will see with him. So, status. Other questions? Typing is slow. Okay. Okay. Other topics. So yeah. So the idea is we ship RC on September 23rd, and we might merge it once we have preview 8. It should be next week, and then yeah, do that, and we'll point to an official version of preview, not the CI builds like Gentry is doing right now. It just wants to follow up with the latest bits in case that we see an issue. Ship 1.0 after that. Tags. Ara Derderian from CloudFront has been working on a tags module. That is not the way that the tags issue references the design. The recommendation was to use the taxonomy for that, but he's working with a separate module. So there is that going on in the community, and that's it. Questions? New sites that you have deployed and we can share? I know about a new one. It starts with patient, but I'm not sure. Can I share the URL? Carl? The one that uses GraphQL? It's public, so I could, but if you're not fine with that. Carl, are you listening? Okay, he's not listening, so I won't share. Later, I will ask him differently. Another time. And Dave is here now. We missed you, Dave. We're wondering where you were. Okay, good. No questions. Then we'll close the meeting. Oh, Carl, say yes. You want us to share the site that starts with. Okay, so I will show you then. PatientAccess.com. Not this one. PatientAccess.com. Okay. And so you said to me, and I will repeat, that it was running on Docker for Linux, on Azure, so as an Azure Docker service on Linux, that it's based on GraphQL, so there are things somewhere that I can use that should do GraphQL. Is it, so this one is running Orchard Core, so if I do network and I look at the home page, no, it's not. I'm not sure even if it's using Orchard Core. Yes, it's using orchard core. So this is a site that uses orchard core. And then you said that this something more common, that this thing works with GraphQL. So what was the value? But I can never find a provider. Last week I tried, it was working, but I can't find anything. Hay Fever and S66. Okay. So how can we see it using GraphQL? Does it appear? Is it a client-based GraphQL call, or is it from the server side that it's calling GraphQL? Okay, so it's server side. Okay. But it's using GraphQL, which is a different service with all the data that exposes all the data that you manage in GraphQL, and then your different apps will get the content from the data from the service through GraphQL. Okay, thank you. And does patient.info also use the same service? Okay, good. So every entity in the database, well, in the Orchard system, the content management has like pharmacy with its postal code. So you just filter on the postal code and the services that they provide as a subquery. Okay. And then there is a location for each pharmacy, and then you can just render the map here for that and all the information that you get from so everything here is from a single GraphQL query, and you get all the sub data from the entity. Cool. Awesome. 14 milliseconds to get the 26 to get the page itself. I think I saw some headers that it was also cached. Xcache, like this looks like Akamai. Azure front door. Okay. And you are using this middleware web markup min. There was an issue at some point about that. There was an issue with the thing. So web markup min being a middleware, I think also on the .NET 3 that will minify the output HTML. Okay, good. Thanks for this site, super nice. Other questions? All good then. So see you on Thursday, and maybe next week once preview 8 is available. We'll talk about it maybe before again with the merge. We can merge 3.0. If you want to try it before, please do so. There might be issues we didn't see with your sites. We'll wait for the last messages. Do you have a NuGet feed for 3.0? Nope, we just have the branch, so we'll have the feed once we merge to dev only. What you can do is clone the repository and do a .NET pack, and I think it will pack, if you do it at the solution level, it will pack every project under, and you can target a custom folder, and then this folder can be your NuGet feed. Okay, thanks everyone. See you maybe on Thursday and probably next Tuesday. Bye bye.